And I'm sure tonight we have a lot of information to share with you that's going to benefit you on your journey to paying for your education, your college education. So before we turn over to our Director of Financial Aid, Mrs. White, we do have with us our President, Vice President of Enrollment and Student Success, Dr. Angeline Brown, and I will give way to her at this point to bring her official greeting. Dr. Brown, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Mr. Singletary, and good evening. On behalf of our president, Dr. Lester McCorn, and the entire Clinton College family, welcome to Clinton College's first financial aid webinar. A special congratulations to all of the high school seniors who will be graduating in 2020, and we hope that you will certainly consider Clinton College for your college choice. The moment you arrive on campus, we are dedicated to your success. And that certainly begins with filling out your FAFSA. So we hope that after this webinar, you certainly will feel very comfortable in completing that process and joining us in the fall. We look forward to seeing you. Go Bears. And now back over to Mr. Singletary.
Thank you, Dr. Brown. Thank you for that greeting. And absolutely, we are excited to welcome everyone here tonight. We want to let you know that we are going live on our Facebook page, Clinton College. Follow us there, and you can put in your questions in the Facebook chat box there. And at the end of this presentation, we will be answering as many questions as we can. We are also live on our YouTube channel at Clinton College. And you can also follow us there and once again, put in your questions, and we will be pulling some of those questions to get you your answers after we complete the webinar. So Mr. Ganzi, thank you for joining us. He will be following along with us on our Facebook page to make sure we pull your questions. So we're all here for one reason, and that's to talk about how do I pay for college? What is this FAFSA that everyone is speaking of? Well, we have our Director of Financial Aid with us this evening, Mrs. Pamela White, and she has all of that information for you. So, Ms. White, thank you for joining us. And at this point, we will release it to you to talk about this FAFSA and the process students need to complete. Thank you, Ms. White.
Thank you, Mr. Singletary. Good evening, everyone. We are so excited and we are happy that you have decided to join us tonight for our very first live virtual financial aid webinar. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and welcome to Clinton College. We are Clinton College. And so this workshop tonight is more geared toward our first year students and their parents on how to kind of navigate your way through the beginning stages of financial aid and the FAFSA. Financial aid, it is a process. So financial aid in any financial aid office that you visit, that you go to, no matter what school you're at, look at your financial aid office as a resource. We are not the enemy. Now, sometimes the financial aid process can get a little tedious. The lines can get kind of long, and sometimes you do have to wait. But remember to always have patience. We are a resource for you. So before we begin our presentation, I do want to say that if at any time you have completed your FAFSA, and we're going to get more into that, if you have applied to school or college, and if you apply for your FAFSA, and if at any time you get an email from Federal Student Aid, you get an email from your financial aid office, please do not let those emails sit in your inbox. Make sure that you open up those emails and you read them. Financial aid office is not just going to send you an email saying, hey, what's up? We're going to send you information. Either we need something from you or we're getting information to you. So that's very, very important for you to be responsible and open up your inbox, okay? So having said that, we're going to get into the presentation. Please, sir, please, ma'am, if you have questions, you have comments, you have concerns, make sure you put them in the chat box. We do have admissions counselors that are here. We are here to answer questions, not just about financial aid, but if you have questions about Clinton College, how to apply, we want you to apply. please put that in the chat box and we will let you know, okay? So having said that, we're going to get on into our presentation. And we just have a brief little presentation. We're not going to overload you guys tonight with information. Like I said, these are the basic steps for the financial aid process to kind of help get you through it, to know exactly what financial aid is. So in order to begin the financial aid process, you must complete a FAFSA, okay? A FAFSA, F-A-F-S-A. That stands for Free Application for Federal Student Aid, okay? So that's how you begin the process. And there is a website that you can go to, and there's also some other, other ways that you can also, do the FAFSA. So we get to that a little bit later on. But Miss Sheila, she's an admissions counselor. She'll probably type in the website for you so you know exactly what that website is, okay? And so how to apply. So once you get into the FAFSA application, I put 5 helpful tips there for you to navigate through it. It can be overwhelming if you think about it too much, but it's easy to navigate, okay? The first thing that you want to be sure to do is take your time. Take your time, slow down, read the questions. Don't be so anxious to get through it. Take your time. Number 2, when you set up your FSA user ID and password, which is Federal Student Aid user ID and password, make sure that you take a picture of it, you write it down, you remember it. That's one of the biggest issues that I've seen probably the last couple of years of financial aid is that students and parents always forget either the FSA user ID or their password. And if you forget it, that causes you to get locked out. And when you get locked out of your account, then you have to call to get it unlocked. So you want to make sure that you have that information written down somewhere, or you take a picture of it so you will have it. I have to write down mine, okay? So write down yours too. And the third thing is read each question carefully. Again, take your time, read the questions, make sure you're answering it correctly, okay? And then number 4, if you're a student, if you're a parent, it's going to ask you for your 2018 income tax information, okay? And then the last tip, which is very important, which is very helpful, very useful. Use the data retrieval tool if you can. But know that you do have to have your FSA user ID and password already set up in order to be able to use that feature. That feature is so helpful because you can just import your information into your FAFSA. You don't have to try to remember what you made. It imports it into your FAFSA for you. So that makes it so much easier, okay? But do know that when you're completing the FAFSA application, if you continue to make a lot of changes on it, if you just submit it with those just not knowing information, it could flag you to be verified, okay? So when you get to the end of your FAFSA, make sure that you sign it. And in order to sign it, you have to sign it with your FSA user ID and password. You have to sign it with your parents' FSA user ID and password. One thing I'm going to address is that some parents sometimes think that their information on the FAFSA application is going to have an impact on their credit. It means that they're going to be paying back loans, and that's not what that means, okay? Their information is not used to for your loans that your parents won't be responsible paying the loans back that you take out if you decide to take out student loans. So just know that, because a lot of people do think that the parent will be negatively affected because their information is on the FAFSA, but that's just information that FAFSA does require in order to calculate what you qualify for in financial aid, okay? So just make sure that at the end, if you cannot sign it, do not submit it. Do not submit it until you can sign it and submit it successfully, because it will come back as an error to you or your parents, okay? The next slide, please. Okay, so I put this in here about direct student loans because this is something that you're going to find out about once you enter into college. You're going to find out directly how student loans affect you. And when you navigate and when you go through the direct student loan counseling, it's going to have a lot of information about loans, how they work, how they affect you once you graduate if you do not pay them back. But one thing that you need to be aware of, and you're going to see this on your award letters, is that your student loans is broken down into subsidized loans and unsubsidized loans. And I have, highlighted on here exactly what that means. When you see subsidized loan on your student loans, that means that the government pays that interest on the loan while you're in school, okay? And then the unsubsidized means that the government does not pay the interest on that loan while you're in school. Very simple, okay? You can always take a picture of these slides if you want to, the user to reference back to them, any information, we're fine with that, okay? So we're going to the next thing is direct student loans. They are awarded based on your classification status. So when you enter school as your first year, excuse me, you're going to be a freshman, of course. And so this is how our hours are broken down at Clinton College. If you have earned 0 to 29 credit hours, you're classified as a freshman. If you've earned 30 hours to 59 credit hours, you're classified as a sophomore. 60 to 89 credit hours, you're classified as a junior. 90 and above credit hours, you're classified as a senior. That's how it is at our school. And those, your classification, it does affect your student loans. So just, know that, okay? So we move on to the next thing is satisfactory academic progress. This is something very important to remember, that if you want to graduate, you want to be on target to graduate with your bachelor's degree, and you want to navigate and move on through the process, just know that you must make satisfactory academic progress. And this is in our school policy, how the required GPA for the hours earned. And anytime if you fall below the required GPA for those hours that you earn, that could possibly put you on financial aid suspension. And there is such a thing, financial aid. You can get in trouble if you're not meeting satisfactory academic progress. That would mean that you can't get financial aid. You would have to sit out of college for a period of time. And then when you go back to college, or you plan on going back, you would have to pay out of pocket. So it's important to, make sure that you're meeting satisfactory academic progress and you're staying focused and on target or while you're there. Okay. So we're going to go on to the next thing. So right here is one way, another way, other than the website that you can use. You can download the FAFSA app to your mobile device. It's My Student Aid. And it's very helpful. A lot of students use that tool. You have it right there on your phone, right there on your device. Download it to your iPad, carry it with you wherever you go. But make sure, like I said before, that you know your login information, because it's not going to automatically keep you logged in. Every time you log in on your mobile device, you're going to have to put in your FSA user ID and password, okay? And that's for your protection, all right? And so the next thing is, this is what the website looks like, okay? That's what it looks like. And there is some helpful information there for you. It's going to take you probably about 30 minutes to complete it online. If you ever get stuck or if you get in a pinch, you don't know what to do, there is a phone number that you can call and they will help and assist you. A quick thing too, anytime if you go to apply for financial aid or apply for FAFSA, if it charges you at the end, then that's not where you want to be. FAFSA is free. It's a free application, so you should never be charged. And we have run into that a couple of times where people would get on the wrong website, and at the end it'll have a fee, probably like $75, something like that. But it's a free application, so you should never have to pay for the FAFSA. But this is what it looks like now. So, take a screenshot of it, take note. I'm pretty sure Ms. Sheely wrote, typed it in the box, the website, fafsa.ed.gov, okay? So that's how you apply. Okay, next slide. And then there are some quick resources for your use. There may be somebody on here, you may not be new to financial aid. You may be a second year student, or you may just be on here, to support. But in any time if you have questions about how much you owe on your student loans, you can always go to that NSLDS, the National Student Loan Data System, to check your balance. There are also other resources that can help you navigate through the process. There are YouTube videos out there. There are links to Twitter, to Facebook. You can always go on NSLDS to read information about federal student loans. Knowledge is power. So there are some resources for you to use. Okay. And then federal student aid, that's the number right there at the top of the screen. 1-800-433-3243. It's the number to federal student aid. And then at the bottom, that's my information. I'm Mrs. Pamela White, Financial Aid Director here at Clinton College. And that's my office number, 803-909-8163. And my email address is pwhite@clintoncollege.edu. And, if you're not attending Clinton College, you just have a general question about financial aid, you can email me, call me. I don't mind answering questions. I'm here to help anybody. We're here as a resource. However, if you don't know, you're on the call tonight, you're on Facebook or on YouTube, and you're watching this, and you haven't made a decision of where you're going to go, you should check out Clinton College. We also did last week, we did a virtual campus tour, and it was amazing. And you can go back and watch that video, look at our campus, you can apply. And Ms. Sheila probably put it in, the chat box on Facebook, how you can apply, the website. So go check us out, come see us, and tell them that Miss White sent you, okay? And so that brings me to the end of my presentation. I hope that you all enjoyed it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But now we're going to open up the floor for any questions, comments, concerns that you may have. We're here to help you. So, Mr. Gansey, do we have any questions?
I don't see any, Miss White.
No
No
questions?
questions.
Oh
I'm
my
looking in the
goodness.
chat. I've been in here the whole time, really, and I don't see one question. So that means you did a great job.
Well, we shall see. We'll find out in the fall. We will find out in the fall. Is there anything that maybe I need to share, Mr.
Yes.
Gansey, Secretary, or something that I need to hit on?
Miss White, can you share with them about international students and how that process of financial aid works?
Okay, so yeah, with international students, normally international students, they will come over probably on a visa. They don't qualify for financial aid normally. Some students, they may be from another country. They may be here for a while. We have had students, we do currently have a student that is attending our school. They have an alien registration number. So yeah, we just haven't had a whole lot of that, movement with, international students. However, we do have international students at our school, but most of the time they do not use financial aid because they don't qualify. They're here on a visa, and that's what they use. But if there are any international students out there, you have questions, please by all means ask. We'll, find out and clarify whatever it is that you need clarified, okay?
Thank you, Miss White. We do have, Miss Singletary, you want to add something?
Yes, I do have a question, Ms. White. I am following along on our YouTube channel, and thank you those who are following us on YouTube. We do have a question. If a student is formerly military and they're trying to come to school using any form of military benefits or their GI Bill, can you speak to that, Ms. White?
Yes. The wonderful thing about Clinton College is we do accept VA benefits. So I am the VA certified official. So you will see me about that. And if you have any questions or anything, call me 803-909-8163 or email me. But we do accept veterans benefits. Yes, we do have that service. at Clinton College.
Yeah. Yes, and we recently started a Veterans Resource Center. So we do have a veterans event that we have had in our admissions department where we have a veterans open house. So if you are a veteran and you are interested in coming to school and you're thinking about Clinton College, hopefully very, very soon we'll be able to schedule another one of those after, COVID, after we navigated through COVID and things are where we can have, safety and so forth in place. But yes. I do have a question on Facebook, Mrs. White. He says, asks, how soon will we receive an award letter after we apply?
How soon will you receive an award letter? Right now for Clinton College, we are undergoing some changes through our website and changing some things over. So I would say a couple weeks. Mr. Gaza, do you know the person's name? Do you have a name of that person?
Yes, his name is Dwayne Chapman.
Dwayne Chapman. Okay. Yeah. So Dwayne, you should be receiving that fairly soon. But you can always email me, py@clintoncollege.edu, just to double check on it. If you would like, you can email me too. Okay.
That was a great question. Ms. White, I do have a question from one of our YouTube followers. They want to know, in regards to financial aid, how does that assist with the cost of books?
Let's see. Okay. So it does assist with the cost of books if you have a credit balance. It just depends whether you're going to be an on-campus housing or off-campus housing and how much you get. At Clinton College, currently, we do not have an on-site bookstore. But yeah, it just depends on whether you're on campus, off campus, and how that funding is. So, if you want to talk to me more about it, we can, talk more about it so I can kind of see where you are. And it too depends on, how much you qualify for, Pell Grant too, and loan. So you can always reach out to me. We can talk about it and kind of see where you are and to see what you have. And it depends too on the classes that you take. Some professors, I think they don't necessarily use like books. They may use ebooks. So it depends too on the classes too, I think.
Thank you, Ms. White.
You're welcome.
Mr. Singletary, I don't see any other questions on Facebook. Do you have any other on YouTube?
I do not have any other questions on YouTube.
Okay, I do want to shout out. We do have some future Golden Bears who looks like they are tuned in. So I do know Mr. Reverend Dwayne Chapman is a future student that has already been accepted. So congratulations to Mr. Chapman and welcome to the Clinton College family. We also have Kai. That's his name on Facebook, but we want to welcome you. Welcome you. And we also have some Clinton College family who's on here, Mrs. Stevenson and Miss Sheely as well. So thank you all. Thank you.
Absolutely. Now that we have heard all of this information, your questions have been answered. You know now how to complete your FAFSA. So let's say you haven't yet applied. We want you to go online to our website, www.clintoncollege.edu. Click on apply now and start that application. It only takes maybe 10 minutes to submit that application. And once you submit that information, one of the admission counselors will reach out to you to usher you through your next steps to make sure that you have a seamless transition into Clinton for the fall 2020 semester. You have all the information you need. You have your financial aid information. We've shared our beautiful campus with you. We've answered questions, and we are continuing to reach out to you via email, via text. And so we want to make sure that we share this message with the world. I want you to make sure you complete that application, www.clintoncollege.edu. Apply today. Like I've said before, Apply today. Start your future tomorrow.
Mhm. Absolutely.
So, Ms. White, do you have anything else to share with us or our listeners and our viewers before we say our goodbyes?
I think Dr. Brown did have something to say, Mr. Singletary.
Okay, Dr. Brown, will you share that with us?
Oh yes, we just wanted to, you did touched on it just momentarily. We want to make sure that all of our viewers knew you can apply without that financial aid, but eventually you will need to fill that financial aid. Okay, we don't want you to wait to do that. You go ahead and make sure you apply. Just go on our website and you can apply online. And then I have one question for Ms. White. What about perhaps if I'm a student, I just don't quite have all of my documents just yet, my tax documents. Do you have any instructions or anything that you can help out with in that?
Yes. So, if you're there, you don't have your tax information, your parents they may not be able to put their hands on it. You can always guesstimate. You can guesstimate, what they made. It's going to ask you for the taxable income. It's going to ask you for adjusted gross income. So you can always guesstimate. If you don't want to do that, you can save your information and just not submit it until you get your hands on those documents, then go back and put the exact number in there if you feel more comfortable doing it that way.
Right. Yes. I know, Ms. White, a lot of times when we have students come and visit, and one of the main things when they get there, they say, "Oh, Ms. White, Dr. Brown, I forgot my password."
Mhm.
What do they do if they forget their password, Ms. White?
Well, they can go in and try to retrieve it by answering the challenge questions. Um, they can, always try to retrieve it, but at some point, after you try so many times, you will get locked out. And
Mhm.
then at that point, they probably just have to call Federal Student Aid. There's a 1-800 number. We did have it up on the screen that they can call, and they'll help them walk through the process of unlocking, their account.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Ms. White, I did have a question to come in, and this is actually through text.
Yes.
So I have two of them. One is, can you answer the question on what does a student need to do if they are completing the FAFSA, but they cannot get their parents' tax information? What options does that student have?
Okay. If they can't put their hands on their parents' tax information at all,
Yes.
um, if they can't, they can go ahead and submit it. It will come back as an error. And then what we'll do is we'll reach out to that student and maybe just have a conversation to see what we can do. But it is required. So that may just mean that the financial aid office may have to try to contact that parent to get that information.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And the next part of that question is, if I am an unaccompanied youth,
Mhm.
how do I complete the financial aid process?
There is a question on there saying that it asks the question, are you an unaccompanied homeless youth? And you would check yes to that, to that question. And once you check yes, that may mean that you may have to submit some documentation that proves that you are unaccompanied. So, that's just at the discretion of the college, the institution. So yeah, that's how that part works. So there is a question on there and you answer yes, if that's the case.
Thank you, Ms. White.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Ms. White, what
Yes.
about those students that perhaps maybe their parent may not, or guardian may not feel comfortable filling out the Parent Plus loan? I know you went over it. Could you just go over one more time, maybe the difference between the Parent Plus and
Mm.
maybe other options if their parent just doesn't feel comfortable doing it?
Actually, Dr. Brown, I'm here. Sorry, guys. Can
Are
you
you
see? Okay. Yeah, I'm
you
here.
okay?
Yeah, I'm
All
here.
right.
My computer. I don't think that we did get to the Parent Plus loan. We didn't talk about that, but that is a good question. Because the Parent Plus, it is actually a loan for the parents. So some parents in the past they have felt uncomfortable with filling out, the Parent Plus loan because it does affect their credit because they do credit checks on those loans. Um, you know, I guess, it puts the student kind of in a pinch, especially if they need more funding.
Mhm.
So then at that point, we may just have to see, what we can do to try to find other sources of income, some kind of, some type of aid for that student. So it does happen from time to time. Some students' parents, they don't, they refuse to use the
Mhm.
Parent Plus loan. So it's just kind of up to that family to kind of navigate through it and to see what they can, do for the student.
Mhm. Mhm. Mr. Singletary, I know with the wonderful admission staff that we have, you guys always do a good job when you're out on the road sharing other resources in terms of scholarships that Clinton may have. You want to touch maybe bases on some of those?
Oh, absolutely. Thank you, Dr. Brown. So at Clinton College, we do have opportunities for students to earn additional scholarship dollars. One in particular, as we are part of the AME Zion Church, we will scholarship match up to $500 any scholarship that a student comes in with from their church or religious organization. And so we can match that up to $500. We also offer scholarships for any student that may be fortunate enough to try out for our basketball team. We have men's and women's basketball, and those sports may come with an additional scholarship. We offer drumline and cheerleading that could also come as an additional scholarship, as well as our choir. We are excited that choir had just completed a tour. And so for those students who are able to audition and make the audition cut for the Clinton College concert choir or gospel choir, that will also come as additional scholarship dollars.
Thank you. Yeah, I think that might be helpful to a lot of our students. Again, to our viewers that are out there, we know that this is one of the number one things that often prevents students from coming to college. I always admire one of our counselors, Reverend Gansey, how he talks about the way he went about gathering funds for him to go to college. And he went to a very large college. And I was hoping maybe Reverend Gansey, if he could just share a little bit about his experience in gathering funds for him to go to college. And then, Ms. White, if you also, I know there's a difference between grants, loans, and scholarships. And I know sometimes students get confused between those. So maybe after Reverend Gansey just shares a little bit about his experience having to get, his resources together to go, and then maybe you can come back and talk about those differences so that students don't get, confused.
Yes.
Yes, thank you for that question, Dr. Brown. So when I was in my journey of applying and preparing to go to college, one thing that I did was I utilized a lot of the resources that were available to me in regard to scholarships. So there were churches who were offering scholarships. There's my district who had a scholarship named after a previous Christian education director. There were some other scholarships in the community. So just to, as a shameless plug, there may be some fraternities and some sororities who offer scholarships where you may be, and other organizations in the community. The Chamber of Commerce may have a scholarship. Local lighting companies may have a scholarship. There are so many scholarships that are out there, and that is one of the tools that I utilize to help pay for me when it was time for me to go to college. So I encourage you to, if there's scholarships out there that you have heard of, please go after them. Please apply for them. Like, don't be afraid to apply for those scholarships. They may require you to do some writing, but I would just encourage you, like I did. Most scholarships ask you to do a personal statement. So go ahead and begin drafting a personal statement that can be universal, that can be utilized not just for one particular scholarship, but for any scholarship who may want to know some personal information about you. The main topics that they want to know: who are you and why do you need this scholarship? Those are the two talking points that are really inclusive in most personal statements. So go after those scholarships. If you have, as a college advisor, which I previously served as, I created a scholarship packet for my students, which was about 16 pages. At the beginning of the year, I would disperse that to the students. So if you have a counselor or someone in your school who does that, look through those scholarships. Do not be afraid to apply. Look at the requirements, see how you match them. In addition, Coca-Cola has a scholarship. Wendy's has a scholarship. Taco Bell has a scholarship. So there are even so many of those places that we eat at all the time that have scholarships. And fortunately, there could be a greater level or greater amounts that they dispense because of COVID-19, because they understand the impact that it has made on so many families. And we don't want, money to be a factor that will keep you from being exposed and going to college. So I would just encourage you to Google those scholarships. Go ahead and Google now if you're listening, Coca-Cola, and see they may have added some new things to that process of applying. Fastweb.com is also a great resource. Those are small scholarships. You may have to write, you may have to draw, and so forth. But there's so many scholarships out there, and that's what really helped me. I had various scholarships my first year of college, so that really was very, 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 very helpful. And I would say the more outside scholarships you have, that could be the possibility of the less student loans that you have. So keep that in mind as well. If you have, you need $10,000, worth to go toward what's not matched in financial aid. If you get $2,000 worth of outside scholarships, you won't have to take out a loan, or your parents won't have to take out a loan to cover that cost. So I would just encourage you to go after those outside scholarships. They're very helpful. So yeah, that's my little take on that. And Ms. White, I'll turn it over to you.
That's some good information, Mr. Gansey, that you shared. You see, Mr. Gansey, he is a resource. So he knows, exactly, how to get to some of those scholarships. And that's scholarships and grants is simply free money. It's money that you do not have to pay back. And like he said, that's what you want, because that can decrease the amount of loans that you have to take out. And with loans, you have to pay those back. And those do occur interest while you're in school, while you're out of school, just depending on your situation. So yeah, you always want to make sure that you can get as many scholarships, grants as possible. Pell Grant, that's within the FAFSA. That's how you know that you qualify for a Pell Grant, is you fill out the FAFSA, and you always want to get that free money first. So that's the difference, between scholarships and loans. Just to put it real simple for you, scholarships, grants, you do not have to pay that money back. That's free money, and we like free, and we love money, and we always want to get free money when we can get free money. So yeah, I think that answered that, Dr. Brown. And so I'm not sure if there are any other questions that we have.
Mrs. White, I don't see any additional questions on Facebook.
Okay.
I don't have any additional questions from YouTube either.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, Ms. White, once they get on campus, what work study? Once they get there,
yes,
they may still need some funds just to take care of their personal items and things like that.
Right. Yeah. And at Clinton College, we do offer work study positions. On the FAFSA, it does ask if you're interested in, federal work study. And of course, you put yes. Even if you put I don't know, and if you still, are interested, you can always see me, see your financial aid office to ask them, how you go about getting, put on to federal work study if their position's available. So, just always go to your financial aid office to ask about federal work study. Yeah.
One thing that Reverend Gansey mentioned, and I just thought of it, is that we know that there are so many high school seniors, even juniors out there that are working. And maybe not now, but he mentioned a lot of the fast food chains that a lot of the teenagers are working at. They do offer scholarships. As a matter of fact, you see commercials about those. So I would encourage those of you that are working in retail, in fast food, or any of your employers, make sure you do ask if they have scholarship funds available, because you may have a leg up on the outside applicant because they know you. And so certainly you want to use that as a resource.
Definitely, yes.
Well, we definitely want to thank you, Ms. White, for sharing with us tonight. And thank you for those who have followed us on YouTube and on Facebook. and for asking those questions. Thank you, Dr. Brown and Mr. Gansey, for being here with us tonight. We thank you again, Ms. White, for all of the information that you've shared. Remember, complete your FAFSA and get that free money for college. You can apply on our website at www.clintoncollege.edu. We are excited to welcome you to the Golden Bear family. We are excited to have you on our campus, and we will see you all in the fall. Stay safe, and we'll see you soon. Good night, everyone.
Bye, y'all.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye, y'all. Take care. Stay safe, everybody.
See y'all in the fall. Go
Yes.
Bears.